you all know how I roll. Let's try this again. Howdy. Thank you. Happy convention, everybody. Has it been a good week so far? All right, awesome. So I'm excited to share with you today and to share about one of my favorite topics, probably some of your least favorite topics, hormones. So, yeah, I can tell how much you love them. In this Terror Talk, we're going to talk about hormones and how some of the things around us are a threat at keeping them in balance. So, I was actually introduced to doTERRA because I was having a female reproductive issue that was caused by an imbalance in hormones, and no one told me that this was most likely caused by some of my lifestyle things, some of the choices that I was making, and of course, toxins. So, because I already know how great you feel about your hormones, anytime you see it on the slide, feel free to yell out hormones with me or just grunt or something because you feel so great. So let's practice. 1, 2, 3. Hormones. Good job. Okay, so let's get started. What do you think is the most common complaint among patients in a women's health practice? Okay, let me go back because we're going to try this again. 1, 2, 3. Good job, you guessed it. So, approximately 80% of women suffer from hormone imbalance issues, and most of them are living thinking the things that they're dealing with are normal or are connected with some other unknown issue within their bodies. So we know that all women experience at least 2 different seasons of hormonal imbalance in their lives. First is what we call menarche, so that's when periods in your cycles begin. And the second is the most dreaded of all, menopause. So for those of us with children, there's also those hormonal imbalances that tend to come during and after pregnancy. Did you know that there's over 10,000 hormone-related books on Amazon? So what that tells me is that women all over the world are looking for answers to this question of how to balance their hormones. So here are some hormone imbalance health issues. And I put these next 2 slides in here just because, like I mentioned, a lot of times we're experiencing things that we have chalked up to normal or we've connected with something totally different. So swings in moods, sleep problems, problems with digestion, loss of sex drive, hot flashes, night sweats, stubborn skin issues, changes in your breasts, headache, vaginal dryness, continuing fatigue, weight gain, and decreased immune systems. You see how these can mimic lots of other things and sometimes can make it really hard for us to get to a diagnosis that it's just hormones. All right, so men and women both experience hormonal imbalance. Here are 10 signs that tend to overlap between both men and women. 1, endless fatigue, very, very common. 2, mood swings and irritability. 3, weight gain or muscle loss, which is typically what our male counterparts tend to complain about. Brain fog, trouble sleeping, low sex drive, blemishes, aching joints. That's a sneaky one that a lot of times we miss. Night sweats, and then feeling unhappy or moody, sometimes even to the point of rage. So what is hormonal imbalance exactly? So during the normal menstrual cycle, hormones like estrogen and progesterone should be released at this normal rate and rhythm to make things feel what we call or consider normal. So when this rhythm gets out of step or out of balance in any way, many different issues manifest like we just looked at on the last slide. So people experience things like complaints about their cycles, hot flashes, moods imbalance, hair loss, excessive hair growth, excessive sweating, digestive issues, skin imperfections, and more. So again, you can see how these can be linked to multiple different issues and sometimes misdiagnosed altogether. So the most common question after we figure out what's going on with hormonal imbalance that I get is, how did we get here? I'm so glad you guys asked. So lots of things that tend to cause hormonal imbalance. Most of them are hiding around us in plain sight. So conventional produce and animal products are one of the big culprits. Stress. We all have stress, right? And that's one of the big things. Gut dysbiosis, which we typically just describe as an imbalance in your gut. It's why we need our PB Restore, right? BPA in plastics, conventional beauty products, unfiltered water, and conventional cleaning products are some of the causes. So when we think about the issue of hormonal imbalance and other issues when the body tends to attack itself, we ask, why are women more inclined to problems like this? Any guesses? Makeup, beauty products, cleaning products. We use more products, right? So they suggest that the average woman exposes herself to over 150 different chemicals in her morning beauty routine. So before she even leaves the house, we think about our products like our hair care, our skin care regimen, makeup routines, deodorant, toothpaste, mouthwash, and the list goes on. So we definitely have to start with our products. So people ask, how do chemicals impact our hormones? We hear a whole lot about endocrine disruptors, but what does that really mean? So take a screenshot of this graphic, check it out for a deeper dive later. But what you basically need to know is that toxins, aka chemicals, mimic hormones in our body. And for both men and women, it confuses our body in exactly what it needs to produce on its own. So that's one of the main threats to hormonal imbalance. So we have to ditch the toxins. So many of us grew up using certain products and maybe still use some certain products. Don't raise your hand. We're not judging you, maybe. But we didn't know how much they impacted our health and how much they could be impacting our overall hormonal imbalance as well. And so for me, as I got more intentional about my overall health choices, the first thing I knew I had to do was overhaul my home. And it was very overwhelming. I don't know if many of you feel the same. When you first kind of got woke, and you figured out oh my God, I have all this stuff in my house that I need to get rid of. What do I do? Where do I start? So what I suggest for those that are really overwhelmed and need their home doTERRized is to just go one room at a time. So there's a lot of evidence regarding toxic chemicals that are found in nearly every household. It's increasing. We see all the time new articles and new studies coming out oh, this thing causes this problem. Those chemicals can be found in almost every room of our home. Everything from body lotion to food storage containers to our mattresses and obviously our cleaning products. And the CDC's biomonitoring studies found that almost everyone has measurable amounts of toxins in their bodies. We even see toxins in the umbilical cord samples of newborn babies. So we know that we are exposed to toxins even before we are born. And rarely is any chemical actually banned from the marketplace in America. There's no required basic safety testing on ingredients in personal care products, which potentially can expose you to hundreds of toxic chemicals every single day. And as a result, many of the products we buy, use, eat, and drink every day contain health-harming chemicals and chemicals that can cause skin irritation, respiratory distress, and so much more. So although I knew I had complete control of what I brought into my home, it did not help when the overwhelm set in. So we're going to prioritize these toxic offenders one room at a time. So since we just learned about some amazing new products to swap out for toxic fragrances in our home, I'm going to focus on these other areas today to share some of my favorite swaps with some doTERRA flagship products. So there's a long list of toxic offenders in the kitchen, right? Right? Not in your kitchens, I'm sorry, just joking. But while some manufacturers have stopped using BPA due to public outrage, there are still so many other toxic chemicals in the plastics that we use, such as the phthalates and PVC. We have the Teflon poisoning that we're hearing about in our foods and chemical-laden detergents and soaps from washing our dishes. So, safe swap here is easy. Abode, my favorite. Of course, the dish liquid. I like the liquid soap. You've also got the dishwasher pods if that's your jam. I also recommend changing out any plastic containers that you have for glass containers and using beeswax wrap instead of the plastic tops that tend to come with glass containers. And then, of course, using stainless steel. Some safe swaps. Oh, they gave me an extra slide, guys, sorry. We can obviously swap out our cookware for safe alternatives. I'm not as much of a DIYer anymore. I used to make everything before Abode came out. Now I'm over it. But if I have to do something, actually, I don't anymore. I just use Abode. So if you want to DIY, do your thing. We have lots of oils for that. But if you'd rather just plug and play, this would be your thing. And then the multi-purpose cleaner I do love. It's super tough on grease and grime in the kitchen. I literally spray this on all of my kitchen surfaces, and it also smells amazing. Did you know that just 7% of cleaning products adequately disclose their contents? That's kind of scary, for me at least. According to an EWG survey, 53% of cleaning products under review contained lung-harming ingredients. They may contain formaldehyde, and the list goes on, things that we know are suspected human carcinogens, and of course reproductive hormone disruptors that could also cause breathing issues. So when you think a lot about people like, oh, I'm cleaning this and I got a headache, it's most likely because of the chemicals that you're breathing in. So conventional cleaning products contain some pretty nasty chemicals that we know. Many are bad for breathing, and some that you don't even want to touch with your bare hands. So aerosols, detergent, furniture polishes all contain VOCs, such as terpenes. It can react with the ozone indoor and form formaldehyde. Who has time for that? Nobody. So, safe swap, tried and true, On Guard. I use this for pretty much everything outside of the kitchen. You can use it obviously in your kitchen as well. I really like it for things that I want something a little bit more soapy. Of course, it's fortified with the I can't even say the word today, y'all. Proprietary doTERRA On Guard Protective Blend. So your skin, your body's largest organ. It is also one of the most common pathways to exposure. I think Dr. Ritz told us earlier this week, it's about a little over 60% of the things that you put on your body end up in your bloodstream. And that's not including the groin and armpit area, so super important for us to pay attention to our personal products. In a recent study out of Denmark found harmful chemicals in 5 of the top selling toothpaste on the market. So our swaps here, of course, are easy again. Our doTERRA On Guard or Supermint toothpaste. I prefer the Supermint toothpaste in the morning, helps me to wake up, and I like to do On Guard at night. Body wash, foaming hand soap as well. And the body wash, moment of silence for the body wash because I just love it so much. The one thing I do DIY is soap. Bar soap is my jam. And I put some recipes in here so you guys can make some on your own if you like. But I make these with melt and pour soap base, super easy. So you just melt the base and then put the oils in there. And these ingredients are per pound of soap. So if you double it, double the numbers there. So Aphrodite, you can imagine what that one's for. Lots of fun. Beauty bar is nice for the skin, lavender and frankincense. And then the Hika bar I love. I use it or call it the healing bar for myself. It's really great for skin imperfections and is a favorite in my house. I use that one with the hemp soap base. So enjoy that. Let me know what y'all think. I was also a 12-year user of a very popular skincare line, and after 9 years of changing my lifestyle, I'm pretty confident those toxins are still in my body. So obviously what you put in your skin, you are putting in your bloodstream, and it matters. Barrage is my favorite of the doTERRA skincare line, but of course, depending upon where you are in your life and what you feel like your skin needs, we have multiple other skincare options for you. But so the skincare products are so important in terms of our toxins. I'll be honest with you all, the least favorite room in my house is the laundry. I love a good, clean, folded basket of laundry. I just prefer not to do it myself. That's why we have kids, right? They can do it. So, popular detergent options contain over 25 toxic chemicals with many more trace toxicities that are left unlisted. So there's PFASs, or forever chemicals, are found in laundry detergent, stain removers, and waterproofing treatments for outdoor gear. I was also shocked to discover how toxic dryer sheets and fabric softeners were, some of the most toxic on the market. So of course we have the On Guard laundry detergent for those liquid lovers. I used to literally spend an entire day making liquid laundry detergent, but like I told y'all, a boat happened to me and I refused. So I love the laundry pods. It saves me that whole entire day from the DIY liquid detergent. I also love dryer balls. I think they are the best alternative to toxin-filled dryer sheets. And I love that you can switch out which oil you want to provide different scents in the laundry room. My current favorites are lavender and purify. Lastly, fragrance. We know how horrible it is for our bodies. And I always tell folks, friends do not let friends use wall plugs, right? Right. So we just heard a lot about the importance of fragrancing your home properly, but I also want to remind you of the importance of fragrancing your body naturally as well. So that's one of my favorite things to do, because with the essential oils, of course, you can fragrance based upon what you and your mood or your body needs when you wake up that morning or throughout the day. So of course, we have a plethora of diffusers in doTERRA, and you can use any essential oil that you like to perfume or fragrance your home, and then of course your body. So, how do I fix my hormones if they're already out of whack? Here is a quick protocol to get you started. So these are a few things to do daily. I always recommend starting with one of the phytoestrogen complex. A full dose of the doTERRA Lifelong Vitality Pack. That was, of course, before we got our new sachets. So, yeah, cross that off. We're switching that over. Copa Eva Soft Gel twice a day. We do one in the morning, one at night. If you choose to do the oil, just do 2 to 3 drops instead. One PB Restore or PB Assist stick, whichever tickles your fancy, I'm fine with, as long as we are doing something to work on the balance in our gut. Of course, add citrus oils to all of your water, at least 100 ounces a day. Thank you. So the next one you all probably get quiet on as well. Get at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. You all have serenity. There's no excuse, okay? Move your body, so make sure you're getting some exercise. That is so important for hormone balance, to make sure you are releasing those endorphins to counteract any stress or cortisol that's going on in your body throughout the day. Manage your stress with the adaptive system, and remove toxins from your food as much as possible. I do also love other supplements like milk thistle and maca root, but I wanted to do this regimen focused on what we have to offer in the doTERRA wheelhouse. So, I did not get the music. I'm hyped. So, ditch the toxins. Get your hormones into harmony. I hope you all have an amazing rest of convention. I love you very much.